Hello, welcome to Just Vintage Crochet. Okay, today I have been in the mood for like a week now to make a poncho, but a modern style poncho, but I want to use this antique pattern to do it. So it will be an open work lacy poncho. So it won't be anything that's going to keep you warm. It's mostly just for fashion. So this is the pattern that I want to use to make this poncho I have in mind. So let's just jump right into the work. Okay, so for this poncho, we're going to need to chain 221. Okay, now that you have your 221 chains, I will be working in the back bumps of the chain. So for our first stitch, we're going to work a single crochet in the 9th chain from the hook. So let's skip 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then one more down will be the 9th, and we'll work a single crochet there. Chain 5, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th chain over, work a single crochet, and that's the repeat all the way to the end is to chain 5 and work a single crochet in the 4th chain over. So let's chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th chain, work a single crochet. Chain 5, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th chain, work a single crochet. Okay, I will be right back. I will work the end of this first row with you. Okay, so let's finish this row up together. Again, we need 54 of these loops, so I have 53 now. I've got 4 unworked chains, so I'm going to skip 3, chain 5, and work a single crochet in the very last chain. Okay, now for the second row, we're going to chain 7. And work a single crochet in the first chain 5 space. Okay, now without chaining, yarn over and count 3 chains over. 1, 2, 3. And in that 3rd chain, work a 5 double crochet shell, and it has to be in the chain stitch, or else you won't get the right shape out of the shell. That's 4 and 5. Okay, and without chaining, here in the next chain 5 space, work a single crochet. And again, without chaining, count 3 stitches in the next chain 5 space, count 3 chains over. 1, 2, 3, and in that 3rd chain, work 5 double crochet shell. Good thing is, we're not working with thread, we're working with a nice size yarn. So working in the actual chain stitches isn't that much of a pain in the butt. It would be a bit more painful if it were thread. So this is what we are looking for here. So without chaining, into the next chain 5 space, join with the slip stitch, with a single crochet. Now chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the next chain 5 space, work a single crochet. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, work a single crochet in the next. Then chain nothing. We're going to work our 2 shells again, and our 2 shells require 3 loops to make. We work a shell, a single crochet, and then a shell. No chains in between any of this. And then we end our shell section with a single crochet. So we start it with a single, end it with a single. So how it pretty much works for the shell area. Single, shell, single, shell, single, which is exactly what we did here. Single, shell, single, shell, single, then chain 5, single twice. Okay, that's the whole repeat. So now we're going to work another shell, no chaining, and we count 1, 2, 3, and work 5 double crochet in that 3rd chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we jump over to the next chain 5 space and work a single. Again, no chains, no chaining again, and we work 1, 2 in the third chain, 5 double crochet shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we finish off this section with another single crochet in the next chain space over. Then we start working our 2 chain 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet in the next space over, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a single crochet in the next space over, and now we begin our shells again. So no chaining in this whole section. And we count 1, 2, 3, there's the third chain. We work 5 doubles. Okay, this is going to be 4 and 5. Again, without chaining, we anchor that down with a single crochet in the next space over. Now we create a new shell. 1, 2, 3 in that third chain. 5 doubles. Okay, and this makes 5. And again, without chaining, we anchor that down in the next chain 5 space with the single. Now we start our chain 5s again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next space over, single crochet, chain 5. Next space over, single crochet. And now we start working. So once you have completed 2 chain 5 spaces, you immediately jump into working your shells. So this is the repeat all the way to the end, and now it is dark enough. I'm going to have to turn my overhead light on. See if I zoom in. No, that doesn't help at all. Let me get some light on. Okay. All right, there we go. Now we can see what we're doing. So now you can see the repeat. And yes, our line, our bottom row here looks really ugly to start. Trust the process. So you're going to work your 2 shell section, which starts with a single shell, single shell, single. And then you're going to work your 2 chain 5 spaces. And then without chaining, you start your shell section again. Single, shell, single, shell, single. No chains. And then you start working your chain 5 spaces. Okay, so work that to the end. When you're getting close to the end, come on back and we will finish this row up together. All right, let's finish this row up together. I've just worked my last 2 shells. I need to anchor this down with a single crochet. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, as I have worked with this pattern, I have found that instead of just working into the 3rd chain over, which will give you a lump on the side, come over here to the 4th chain over. So count 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you work your last single crochet in that 4th chain, it's going to give you a nice clean edge. Otherwise, you'd have a bubble on the side. Okay, now let's chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Turn, and in the first chain 5 space, work a single crochet. There we go. Okay, now we need to chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and skip 2 double crochet, 1, 2, and in that center, work a single crochet. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, we're going to skip 2 double crochet, 1, 2, and in that center, work a single crochet. I am working these yarn under and a little bit firm. If you work the single crochets that go over the shells too loose, when we come back and we work a shell in that single crochet, it's going to look loose and floppy. Okay, I'll show you an example of that, of how it's going to look. Well, I'll show you an example. So working a normal yarn over single crochet, don't want to work it too loose. I don't want to be obnoxious here. A normal single crochet, as you can see, it's just like all the other ones I've been working. So now I'm going to chain 5 again. Again, this is just for an example. Get myself over here, work a single crochet. Okay, now I'm going to pretend like I'm at the end of my row and I need to work myself back. So just to get myself built up here, just going to work a few stitches and then a single crochet in this chain space. Now I'm going to work into this and this. This is the yarn under single crochet that I also intentionally worked pretty tight. This is the normal tension yarn over single crochet. First of all, just looking at them, you can see a bit of a difference, a bit. Work a shell here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. See the big hole? Then we would work a single crochet there. Now into this firmer yarn under single crochet. Let's see if there is even much of a difference. Little bit. There's a little bit of a difference, but you can see how much cleaner this shell looks compared to this one. Okay, so it's all up to you. I personally like the way this one looks just a bit better. There you go. Your choice. But that pretty much gives away what we're going to do in the next row, doesn't it? Okay. Well, I guess I'm just starting all over again, aren't I? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our single crochet, of which I'm going to do a yarn under and keep it firm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now don't make a mistake and make your chains firm, just the one stitch. Keep your chains a pretty relaxed tension. And again, I'm going to do a yarn under, pretty firm single crochet right there. Now a relaxed chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relaxed. And now my single crochets can be just normal, like yarn over, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now over the shell, I'm going to work a yarn under, firm single crochet. So skip 2 doubles, and in that third one over, I'm going to yarn under and work a firm single crochet. And then a relaxed chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then repeat that. Skip 2 doubles, and in the third one over, a yarn under, firm single crochet, but a relaxed chain 5. So when I make my relaxed chain 5, my first stitch, since I'm worked so tight onto the hook, I pull up a little bit to give myself a little bit of a relaxed stitch there. And I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet, chain 5. So this is what we're going to do all the way across. Now again, I'm going to work a firm yarn under single crochet, but lift up a little bit to work a relaxed chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to firm it up again right here. Just like that. And then lift up on my loop a little. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Oops. Okay, so work this all across. And I will meet back up with you at the end of this row. I know this looks ugly. Just trust the process. It'll look pretty. Okay, so when we get to the end and you work your last, I would say, firm single crochet, chain 5, and like before, we're going to skip 4 chains, or we're going to skip 3 chains. So 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th chain over, work your last single crochet, and you see it just keeps the edge nice. Okay, now we are going to chain 7 again. Turn and work a single crochet in the first chain 5 space. Now without chaining, we're going to start working our shells again. So here we have our first shell. Let's go ahead and work 5 double crochet into that single crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then in the single, or in the chain 5 space, work a single crochet, and in the next single crochet, work a shell. Okay, this is going to be 4, and then 5. And just like we did down here with our first shell row, we end it the same way. We're going to work a single crochet in the next chain 5 space. Chain 5, single crochet, chain 5, single crochet, and then without chaining, you start working your shell section again with a shell, single crochet, shell, single crochet. So let's work that one more time together. So here we go, 5 doubles into that single. Okay, that's 4 and 5, single crochet into the chain 5 space, shell over the single crochet, okay, that's 5, single crochet. So all of that is done without any chains in between, so that you get this sort of look here. And then you just go into making your 2 sections of chain 5. So we chain 5, single crochet, chain 5, and single crochet. Now without chaining, you start working your shells again. So that's it all the way to the end of this row. I will meet back up with you when we get to the end of this row, and we will finish it off together. Okay, let's finish this row together. So I've just worked my last shell. So without chaining, I'm going to work a single crochet. Now I'm going to chain 5. And again, as I've been suggesting, let's count 4 stitches over. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's work a single crochet in that 4th chain. And there, it's just keeping our edge nice and clean. Okay, so this is going to be the 2-row repeat. So now the next row is going to be our chain row where we just work chains. And remember my suggestion, over these single crochet, or forgive me, over these double crochets, I highly recommend yarning under, just like this. So this is a yarn over. As you can see, the yarn is coming over the top of the hook. Yarn under, you just take your hook and kind of chomp down on it, just and pull through. But pull through with some firm tension. See how it's pulling the skin on my finger? Firm tension, just like this. Really work those stitches tight, because look at the result. It's really nice and clean. Okay, that is my strong suggestion. Also, my other strong suggestion is at the end of every row, just count 4 chains over and work your last single crochet in that 4th chain. I mean, it's creating a really pretty edge, you know? So let's keep repeating the chain row and the shell row over and over until we have achieved along the edge 20 21 to 22 inches of growth. Our last row will need to be a chain row. Okay, so I should mention that, end on a chain row. Even if you've already achieved 21 inches, still make a chain row. As you can see, the chain row is not going to add that much height. Okay, so let's just keep going. Let me show you the chain row one more time, and from there you'll know just what to do. Okay, so we're going to turn and chain 7, or chain 7 and turn, either way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Work a single crochet in the first chain space. Every row will start this way. Every row will end by working a single crochet in the 4th chain over, or in the 3rd chain over if the 3rd chain happens to be looking pretty good. Then don't worry about the 4th chain over. But that's how each row is going to begin and end. Now let's go ahead and chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here I'm going to work a firm single crochet. Yarn under single crochet. Very firm, like feels like a little pebble in my finger. Now I pull up on my chain just a little bit to make it loose, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because we want our chain 5 to be relaxed. We want these single crochets to be crazy firm, just like that. And then I pull up a little bit, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nice and relaxed. And here we don't have to worry so much. You can just do your normal single crochets. Don't worry about how firm they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the next chain space. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now here I'm going to work a firm single crochet. Yarn under and complete it. And then I pull up a little bit, give myself a little bit of a looser stitch there to start, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Work a firm single crochet again. And then I draw up a little bit, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we don't have to worry about it. Okay, that's going to be it. So you have your homework now. Very simple. Just keep working this 2-row repeat until on the edge you measure 21 to 22 inches. And the reason I say on the edge is because it's the most consistent width you're going to find. As you can see, this is kind of all over the place, but the edge is the edge. It's going to be the most consistent and the best way to measure your piece. So there you go. All right, I will be, actually it's going to probably take me a couple of days, but for you, it's going to be just a second. Okay, I'm ready to now work my last row. So I did play with it just a little bit and determine the best way to do this without having a big bubble over here on the side, because I'll show you what I mean. If we go with our usual chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, since this is the last row, we won't have anything to pull up on that bubble, which is what this is right here, to make it look like an edge. It'll just look like this. And it looks a little bit messy, right? So my recommendation, of course, after playing around with it and figuring it out, is to just chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, as usual, now we will work our single crochet there, and that cleans that up. It concludes it nice and neat. Now the last row is the chain row, right? So we're just going to work chains. I'm not going to worry about making tight single crochets over the shells because there's nothing going to go in it afterward. So we chain 5 and then come over to the center double crochet and work a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. And that's all you got to do, all the way to the end. 3, 4, 5. Of course, I'm going to have to play again when we get close to the end to determine the best way to finish that row off, because again, we don't want a bubble. I will likely do the chain 4 again. So, or you know what? No, I think chaining 5 and moving over is going to be just fine. Let's just take a look. Let's just practice right now while I have you here. So here's the last shell. So I will go ahead and work that single crochet. Now let's chain 5. And I think this is going to work out fine. 1, 2, 3, and then in the 4th chain over. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, just chaining 5 and working over it's going to be fine for ending off this last row. And my recommendation to you, before we do any kind of sewing, go ahead and throw this in the washer, or at very least, put it on high in the dryer for about 8 to 10 minutes. And then give it a good stretch to open it up. Just hold on to it, like fold it a bunch of times. I'll show you. But yeah, whenever you're all done, just put it in the wash, hot water, and then hot dryer, and then come on back and I'll show you what to do. Or just simply throw it in the dryer for 10 minutes and see if that helps. But sometimes going through the whole cycle of washing, the agitation, it really loosens up acrylic fibers. Because a little bit of this has some stiffness. You see how it's got a little bit of stiffness here? And so I am going to go ahead and wash and dry mine as usual, just to really loosen up these fibers. I do highly recommend making this with a higher quality material if you can. I really wished I had, but I just didn't have enough. So there's that. 1, 2, 3, 4. But this worked up so stinking fast. Man, I'm probably going to have to make another one. I'm going to try to find this color, but in a more natural fiber. You know what I mean? Something that has more drape to it, like an alpaca silk. Ooh, that would be pretty. Okay, I'm going to work this all the way across, and then I'm going to go ahead, weave in my ends, and I'm going to wash and dry it. Then I'll come back and show you my blocking process for big items like this that are also acrylic. It's really kind of basic and easy, but it's my process. Okay, so now my piece has been washed and dried. Again, I washed it in hot water and I dried it on high heat. So what I did is I took it out of the dryer and I folded it in half once, then I folded it in half again and just began to pull on it as it cooled down. Trying to help it keep its shape, but also give me the length I need. And it's pretty much blocked at this point. And also, look at this. Look how relaxed this material is now after washing and drying. Again, this is just kind of a cheap acrylic, So yeah, the quality of it improved greatly after washing and drying it, all heat. And so now it's still a little bit warm in the middle, down in there. And that's the important part about keeping it folded, is you keep the warmth on there as you're stretching it, and then you just sort of leave it to sit that way. One thing about plastic, which acrylic is plastic, once you apply a certain amount of heat to it, you're now free to reshape the plastic. So all of the fibers are now loosened up. They are stretched a little bit. They are relaxed. Whenever I go to put this on, it's going to wear really nice. So I'm just going to keep it like this until it's completely cooled down in the middle. I can still feel the warmth in the middle here. On the edges, it's cooling down quite a bit, but here it's still pretty warm. So I'm going to give it a good 20 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, now to assemble it, it's nice and cooled down now. So all I did was fold it in half. Okay, so took a long rectangle and made a shorter rectangle. Here is the whole piece here. I'm going to have it with the shells facing up, but facing down. Here's how that would look. Looks just as good, really. Looks kind of unique, really. I'm going to have it with the shells facing up. The good thing about crochet, though, you can change your mind. All you got to do is remove the shoulder stitches and you can rework them down and make the shells facing down, if you don't like it. That is neat though, isn't it? I already picked my part, so that's okay. So you just want to take the whole rectangle and fold it directly in half. Okay, this right here is going to be the part that goes around your neck, and it's entirely up to you if you want it to come off shoulder or not. I do. And of course, I'm going to show you a reveal. So what I have here is matching essentially shell for shell. As you can see, the shells are matching all the way along. I'm going to stitch from the top of this shell here all the way to the very end, and that'll be that. Or you can just stitch to like right here and have this bit open right here for just a little bit of extra movement. So I'm going to grab my darning needle and my thread and turn this inside out, and you can see this is the wrong side. You know, just go based on the back of the stitches. And this here can come off. And I don't even need this one on because I know exactly which shells I'm going to work into. So there are 2 groups of shells on the end, and I'm going to start with this group of shells and just use my darning needle to sew the whole thing shut, or you can crochet it shut if you want to. There we go. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a long piece of yarn. Grab my work again just to confirm I have the right parts. I've got 2 groups of shells, so yes, that's 1 and 2 right there. I'm going to start with the single crochets here. And I'm just going to tie this into a quick knot. Of course, this will all be weaved in at the end, so I want to leave myself a generous tail for weaving in. But I'm just going to kind of double knot that just to secure that first stitch. And from here, I am just going to try to match as best I can. Perfection is not needed. I'm just going to try to match chain stitch for chain stitch. Okay, that's going to pretty much be it all the way to the end, and then I will show you a reveal here in just a minute.
He never changed his way for me to budge, darling. It's feeling like a cold dark wind and the sun still behind the trees, yeah. She asked me if I had another minute and I ain't had the heart to leave, yeah. It's feeling like a cold dark wind and the sun still behind the trees, yeah. She asked me if I had